go ahead and call the Coventry Local School District Board of Education organizational meeting to order. Lisa, could you call the roll, please?
Yes. Mr. Bowser.
Here. Okay, let's go ahead and call the Coventry Local School District Board of Education organizational.
Mr. Hostetler.
Here.
Mrs. Paff.
Here.
Mrs. McGraw.
Here.
And Mr. Sulik.
Here. Okay, very good. Now we're going to have the oath of office for the 3 recently elected board members, so we can.
Yes.
Should we do that?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Let's stand for the pledge.
Go ahead.
Dan wants to do the pledge of allegiance, but why don't we do that at the regular meeting, Dan? It's not on the agenda for the organization. We'll do the swearing.
All right. Good evening. As you know, as the district treasurer,
You don't have to stand up.
I have the distinct pleasure and honor of swearing in the newly elected board members. By taking this oath, you are committing to uphold the laws of the state of Ohio and to represent the taxpayers of our community, and most importantly, to serve our students with full integrity. So at this time, will you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? With an effective term commencing January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2029.
With an effective term commencing January 1st, 2026 and
December
to December 31st, 2020.
How about if I do?
That would be great. Or you could just shorten up the.
Okay,
All right, now we're good.
now we're good? Okay,
2020.
2029. I solemnly affirm
I solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I faithfully and impartially
and that I faithfully and impartially
discharge my duties
discharge my duties
as a member of the Board of Education
as a member of the Board of Education
of the Coventry Local School District,
of the Coventry Local School District,
Summit County, Ohio,
Summit County, Ohio,
to the best of my ability and in accordance with the laws
to the best of my ability and in accordance with the laws
now in effect and hereinafter to be enacted
now in effect, hereinafter to be enacted
during my continuance in said office
during my continuance in said office
or until my successor is appointed, elected, and qualified.
or until my successor is appointed, elected, and qualified.
By the powers vested in me by the state of Ohio, I now declare you official Coventry Local School Board members, newly appointed, Mr. John Sewell, and our returning members, Mr. Josh Hostetler and Mrs. Laura McGraw. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then I will need you to sign those oaths for me, please. And then Terry, if you wouldn't mind being the witness and signing below their signatures, I would greatly appreciate that. Oh, do you want to just?
Yeah.
Lisa, you signed 2025.
Used to it.
I'm sorry, Rush.
Yeah, you have 2025 on here.
That's what's on the board there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna correct.
It's 2026.
Thank you. We fixed it.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is the Code of Ethics. I think this is just a reminder that all board members need to sign the Code of Ethics. So if you could do that at your first availability, if you haven't done so already. And next is the adoption of the meeting agenda. So is there a motion to adopt the meeting agenda?
So moved.
Second. Are there any questions or alterations?
I'm sorry, we're back again.
You just have a seat, it's okay. All right. Hearing none, Lisa, could you call the roll, please?
Yes. Mr. Hostetler,
Yes.
Mr. Bowser,
Yes.
Mrs. Pat,
Yes.
Mrs. McGraw,
Yes.
and Mr. Sulik.
Yes. All right, very good. Next on the agenda is the nominations for the 2026 board president. So as president pro tempore, I'll go ahead and open the floor for nominations for president. Dan, you have your hand raised. Do you have a question?
I would like to nominate Josh Hostetler.
Thank you.
I second that.
Right, thank you. Is there any other nominations? Any discussion on the matter? Okay, is there a formal motion to elect me as president for 2026?
So moved.
Second.
All right, could you call the roll, please, Lisa?
Mr. Bowser,
Yes.
Mrs. Pat,
Yes.
Mrs. McGraw,
Yes.
Mr. Sulik,
Yes.
and Mr. Hostetler.
Yes. Okay, next we'll open up the floor for nominations for the 2026 board vice president. Are there any nominations?
I would like to nominate Terry Peff.
I will second that. Any other nominations? Okay, any discussion on the issue? Hearing none, is there a formal motion to elect Terry as the vice president for the calendar year?
So moved.
I'll second that. Call the roll?
Mr. Bowser,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
Mrs. McGraw,
Yes.
Mr. Sulik,
Yes.
and Mr. Hostetler.
Yes. All right, very good. Now we'll move into board appointments. It is recommended that the board appoint 3 members to serve as representatives on the Portage Lakes Career Center Board of Education. Believe we've had some folks express interest already, so I suppose we have formal nominations, or do you guys just want to go ahead and volunteer?
I would love to volunteer.
Okay, so we have Lauren McGraw, John Sulik, Dan Bowser.
I'm the president, so that's why Joe's on,
Okay,
because
That's why there's 3 this
usually
year.
it's excluded only.
it's usually only 2, right?
Yes.
Very good. All right, next appointment in accordance with section 3313.23 Ohio Revised Code, the Board of Elections shall designate a treasurer pro tempore in the event of the absence of the treasurer from any meeting during the calendar year. Would anyone volunteer for the president pro tempore? Laura McGraw?
I've already had a conversation about it.
Everybody good with that? Any discussion or anybody else like to volunteer? All right. Okay, next up is the legislative liaison. Per Ohio School Boards Association requirements, the board shall appoint a legislative liaison for calendar year 2026. I believe we already had somebody that had interest in that. Was that? Did we have? Who's interested in being the legislative liaison?
I'm willing to do that.
Are you?
I've done it, so
Okay.
I'm not sure that I did.
You attended the Capitol Conference and
I
Yeah.
did, but I just wonder if I did the most,
It's,
but I'm willing to do it, if that's,
yeah, if you're willing, that's great.
okay.
Historically, there hasn't been a whole lot of work for the legislative liaison. I mean, outside of going to the Capitol Conference, it's kind of just keep it updated. You received a newsletter in the past.
Yeah.
Okay. So if anything in that newsletter sticks out as like super pertinent to Coventry, then feel free to bring
Okay.
that up at our monthly meetings.
Okay.
That's really the
If
main
that's-
thing.
Adequate,
Yeah.
I'm willing to do it.
Yep, okay,
Okay.
thank you. Per OSBA, a student achievement liaison shall be appointed for calendar year 2026. Is anybody interested in that role?
last year. It's me.
Who was it last year?
It's Chris. It's you.
Sure.
Dan.
I'm willing.
Okay. All right,
What did you remember for?
well, sure I did. Oh, no, wait, legislative, oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Okay, we have one more board appointment. And that is, if one cannot attend the OSBA Capital Conference held in November 2026, an alternate legislative liaison delegate is appointed. I'm happy to serve as the alternate, if nobody else is interested. Okay.
It's fine, your terms.
Okay.
The next year, what will happen, so that's to the right,
Gotcha.
volunteer.
Okay. Next on the agenda, Board of Education 2026 regular meeting calendar. It is recommended that the board adopt the regular meeting dates, times, and location for the 2026 calendar year per Exhibit B1. Just to note, this was the same as what we reviewed last month with the exception of May, because I believe the date May was on graduation, so that was moved back a week. Is there a motion to approve the calendar?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second,
You,
so the correct date is.
I believe it's the 27th of May, is that right? Okay.
Okay.
I believe there's copies up on the table there.
I
If you
thought
need them on
that's
your
what I
way
had.
out.
I wanted to make sure it was the correct.
Okay. All right, next on the agenda is the establishment of the service fund. In accordance with section 3315.15 Ohio Revised Code, the board shall establish and utilize a service fund for the 2026 calendar year in the amount of $5,000. Historically, the service fund is underutilized, I would say, so we do not spend a whole bunch, yes?
We need to vote on number.
Are you sure? Okay.
Did we
Sorry.
vote?
No, we didn't. All right, so we have a motion and a second. I'm trying to move things along.
We do good.
All right,
Okay.
could you
Mr.
call the roll,
Walter,
please?
Yes.
Mrs. Pat,
Yes,
Mrs. McGraw,
Yes.
Mr. Sulik,
Yes.
and Mr. Hostetler.
Yes. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, next is the service fund. In accordance with section 3315.15 Ohio Revised Code, the board shall establish and utilize a service fund for the 2026 calendar year in the amount of $5,000. Is there a motion to discuss?
So moved.
Yeah. Second, I'll second. Any questions on that? John, just so you know, it's really a fund that's set aside for the board. I don't think we've ever spent all of it. It does help to cover some of the cost if somebody wants to go to the Capitol Conference in November. And some of the travel costs, but.
We're going to the workshop, so it comes out.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep. Okay, could you call the roll on that, please?
Mr. Bowser,
Yes.
Mrs. Pat,
yes,
Mrs. McGraw,
Yes.
Mr. Hostetler,
Yes.
Mr. Sulik.
Yes.
If you want.
All right. Consent agenda authorizations and approvals. We have exactly 1 minute to read 3 pages of authorizations and approvals. Just as a summary, a lot of this is just granting the superintendent and the treasurer the authority to conduct daily business activities when the board is not in session. But I'll go through these. Annual authorizations and policy approval. Number 1, authorize the treasurer to request and execute on behalf of the Board of Education the advance of all taxes and funds as they may be available for distribution from Summit County and the Summit County Treasurer. This authorization shall extend to any advances, including but not limited to weekly advances within the time periods prescribed by the Ohio Revised Code, section 135.351. Number 2, authorize the treasurer to obtain advances against tax collections as prescribed by Ohio Revised Code 321.24 from the Summit County Fiscal Office to meet current expenses. Number 3, authorize the treasurer to sign, use facsimile, email and or electronic signature thereof, all checks drawn on bank accounts of the school district as prescribed by the Ohio Revised Code 3313.08, and to pay all bills within limits of the appropriations resolution as prescribed by the Ohio Revised Code 3313.18, as bills are received under assumption that goods received or services performed are acceptable. Number 4, authorize the treasurer to invest interim and inactive funds in permissible investment accounts pursuant to board policy and as prescribed by Ohio Revised Code 135.07, 135.13, and 3313.051. Number 5, authorize the treasurer to make fund-to-fund advances, advance returns, and transfers as needed throughout the year with board ratification as part of the financial reports at a regular meeting. Number 6, authorize the treasurer to borrow funds in anticipation of future tax receipts as permitted by Ohio Revised Code 133.301 at the best available rate for cash flow purposes. Number 7, authorize treasurer to request, revise, and amend the district's certificate of estimated resources and temporary, permanent, and final appropriations as needed throughout the year in accordance with the Summit County Fiscal Office. Number 8, authorize the treasurer to pay professional meeting expenses for the superintendent and treasurer within the appropriated accounts and amounts. Number 9, authorize the treasurer to make payment of bills and salaries when due within appropriated amounts, sign all payroll checks, all general account checks, purchase orders, and all contracts with original electronic or mechanical signature. Number 10, authorize the treasurer to establish an appropriate account to expense miscellaneous employee fringe benefits. Number 11, authorize the treasurer to renew the treasurer bond, superintendent bond, board position bonds, and liability insurance as needed. Number 12, authorize the treasurer to conduct the yearly transfer of $59,408 from Fund 003 Permanent Improvement Fund to Fund 034 Maintenance Fund for the requirements of the bond PI construction project of Coventry High School. Number 13, approve the treasurer to serve as the district's public records custodian to manage, amend, and update the district's public records retention guidelines as needed per Ohio Revised Code and the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. Number 14, authorize the superintendent to accept appropriate donations to the school district on behalf of the Board of Education. Number 15, authorize the superintendent and treasurer to enter and or accept, participate in federal, state, or local grants or agreements, and authorize the treasurer to appropriate funds for the grants awarded. Number 16, authorize the superintendent or designee to recommend the purchase of textbooks, school supplies, and equipment, and to authorize emergency repairs to buildings and equipment to be made against the appropriate accounts of the board adopted appropriation measure. Number 17, authorize the superintendent or designee to act as a purchasing agent for the school district and shall authorize all requests of such purchases. Upon superintendent approval, requisitions are sent to the treasurer for confirmation and approval of available funds for such purchases. Number 18, authorize the superintendent or designee to solicit bids for the purchase of equipment and or services in accordance with Board of Education policies. Number 19, authorize the superintendent to approve all special trips on school buses, including educational field trips for band and athletic activities based on guidelines as defined in board policy. Number 20, authorize the superintendent to send school employees to professional meetings within the amount of appropriation for calendar year 2026. Number 21, authorize the superintendent to make offers of employment when the board is not in session directly to candidates for either teaching or non-teaching positions on behalf of this board, and to acknowledge acceptance of such offers on behalf of this board, subject to a subsequent vote of ratification by this board, provided, however, that upon ratification by this board, the employment shall be deemed effective as of the date and time of the employee's acceptance of the superintendent offer. Number 22, authorize the superintendent on behalf of the board to accept resignations which have been submitted by employees during times when the board is not in session, subject to ratification by this board, provided, however, that upon ratification by this board, such resignations shall be deemed effective as of the date and time of the superintendent's acceptance. Number 23, authorize the superintendent or designee and treasurer to declare obsolete and dispose of property assets valued at less than $5,000 and to update the district's capital assets records accordingly. Assets valued at $5,000 or more will be presented to the board to be declared obsolete and disposed of in accordance with board policy. Number 24, authorize the superintendent or treasurer to determine and declare asset purchases by the local non-public using federal funding to be officially deemed property of the non-public, therefore not recorded on the district's capital asset inventory record per the funding's guidelines and Ohio Revised Code. Number 25, authorize the superintendent and treasurer to enter written contracts and purchases involving less than $5,000. Contracts and purchases totaling an amount equal to $5,000 or more will be presented to the board for approval at the next available board meeting. Number 26, authorize the superintendent and treasurer to approve the attendance and reimbursement of expenses made against the appropriate accounts of the board adopted appropriation measure incurred by certified and classified staff members at professional and or in-service training meetings based on guidelines as defined in board policy. Number 27, authorize the renewal of the Ohio School Boards Association membership for the calendar year 2026. Number 28, authorize the treasurer to continue the practice of allowing board members to participate at their own expense in group health, dental, vision, insurance plans provided to the employees of the district as permitted by Ohio Revised Code 3313.212. Number 29, authorize the Board of Education to dispense with the reading of the board minutes of each regular and special meeting, provided the minutes are available to the board members at least 2 days prior to the board meeting where approval is anticipated. Number 30, the board authorizes the use of legal services from Peters, Khalil, and Markakis Company LPA, Peppel and Wagner, Bricker and Grayson, Retzel and Andrus, Squire, Patton and Boggs, the Ohio School Boards Association, Ohio Association of School Business Officials, Stark County Educational Service Center, Summit County, City of Barberton, and New Franklin Prosecutor's Office. Is there a motion?
So moved and well done.
Second.
All right, any discussion on that? Sorry to bore everybody. I know you've all read through that stuff before, but I think it's good to review once a year and also get it out on public record on video, so. Anything else? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bowser,
Yes.
Mrs. Pat,
Yes.
Mrs. McGraw,
Yes.
Mr. Swollet,
Yes.
and Mr. Huston.
Yes. Is there a motion to adjourn the organizational meeting?
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I think that was unanimous.
Jeff.
Thanks. Are we switching seats? Okay. So excited to get out of that seat.
I don't need to switch, do I?
You get to vote.
No, you.
Can I just stay here? Oh, I moved to that.
Unless you want to, unless next meeting you want to, but you're vice president, you get that seat. Yay.
Hi, George. See ya. Sorry, I kind of move in when I get a seat.
Last thing you need. But you need it.
Are you using your computer? You want me to move that over for you?
No, I'm fine. I haven't been using it. Oh, sorry.
Kind of Congress and just read things to stop them from building on stuff. I feel like I'm ready for that. So,
Son, it started, that's it. Your first.
it's filibuster, that's right.
Set right to the first year.
Okay. Sorry. Sending that back.
Oh. Not behind most of my paper. It's mine in
Is yours
there,
here?
maybe. Oh, yeah, because you witnessed on them.
I did. Okay, thank you.
All right. Pass it, down, please. Pass.
I kind of nest and I sit somewhere.
I just thought that.
Oh,
Just pass on to next month, I believe, that's the code of ethics.
Yeah.
Just pass that to Laura.
Oh, okay.
yeah, for you.
This goes to Laura.
Yeah, I think she's the only person that has to sign the code of ethics statement. That's her signature line. This will be yours after you
Okay.
talk to OSBA.
So do you want me to keep this for now till next month?
No, just pass it down to Laura. We'll give it back to Lisa and she can
Okay.
bring it next month for you to sign.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Sure. All right, let's go ahead and call the regular meeting to order, January 7th, 2026. Lisa, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Bowser,
Here.
Pat,
Here.
Mrs. McGraw,
Here.
Mr. Zulik,
Here.
and
Here. We also, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, is there a motion to adopt the meeting agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Just had one question about the agenda, I suppose. I don't know if it's a big deal or not, but. Other business items, number 2, the revised policies and procedures. This was to be the second reading for all of these policies and procedures. And since this is John's first month on board, he hasn't really had a first reading officially.
that's okay.
But can we,
You can postpone or you can still vote.
okay. Did you have a chance to review those?
I did.
Others, okay. I'm good with leaving it on.
Okay.
Okay. Lisa, could you call the roll, please?
I'm sorry, who was the second on that?
First, Terry.
I thought it was Terry. Yeah.
Mr. Bowser,
Yes.
Mrs. Pat,
Yes.
Mrs. McGraw.
Yes.
Mr. Sulik,
Yes.
and Mr. Hostetler.
Yes. Okay. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the regular meeting on December 17th, 2025?
Make a motion.
I'll second. Would you call the roll, please?
Yes, and everyone noted the change in the minutes from the ones I sent out after last month's to.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, Mr. Bowser,
Yes.
Mrs. Pat,
Yes.
Mrs. McGraw,
Abstain.
Mr. Sulik,
Yes.
and Mr. Hostetler.
Yes. Great. And we'll move into district updates.
I just wanted to share one update with you. Mrs. Kendrick is currently working on updating the costs of our master facility list, so that we can have our annual meeting to discuss which items we'd like to do over the summer that are from that list. As well as she'll be doing walkthroughs of both the elementary and the middle school with the principals to get their projects as well, as we continue to make that comprehensive list as best we can of everything that we hope to do in the district sometime in the next 5 years. So we hope to have that ready for you in February, so we can start discussing, so we can get things lined up. Summer will be, it's crazy to think, but summer will be here before we know it. So that was the only item under updates, and we don't have an in spotlight, excuse me. This month is, we take January off. So our next update will be, or spotlight will be next month.
Okay, great. Thanks, George. All right, let's move into superintendent recommendations.
Okay. Superintendent recommendations, number 1, certified personnel.
I'm sorry, George. I skipped things. I skipped Board of
think you
Education
did it on
comments.
Keeping it moving.
Man. A little rusty. Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Happy New Year to everyone. Didn't get a chance to get those in. We're on to another year. I'm looking forward to everything. It's amazing how far Coventry has come in the last 4 years, 3 years. It just continues. I'm looking forward to everything, and I hope that as things do change and morph into whatever they do change into, we're prepared and we're ready to meet any problems straight on and handle those. Working. Glad to be here.
Go ahead.
First meeting, you don't have to say
Go
much.
ahead.
Yeah, just did what Dan said. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
We'll just go down to that. So, welcome, John. Happy to have you. I'm sure you'll be a valuable addition to the board here. Just want to say, I know some of our neighboring districts are having some financial issues, definitely feel for what they're going through. But it does highlight a lot of the work that we've done here over the past 10 years, and especially that we're in a good spot for now, and we hope to stay that way as long as we stay vigilant financially. And I believe Coventry's playing Norton tonight over in the gym, so go Comets. That's all.
I mainly like to welcome John Sulik. He's a good friend of mine and someone that I highly respect. I think he has a lot to offer to the board, and I welcome him and thank him for serving.
I just want to say how thankful I am for the people that run our schools, our principals, and our administration staff. We are just so very lucky to have the people in those positions that care enough to make sure that our buildings are safe, our kids are safe, and they're being taught well. And I'm just very, very thankful, trying to start this year, just to acknowledge those people that don't ever, and they do get accolades, but like just the people who clean our buildings, the people who take our kids everywhere, and clean up after everyone, and the teachers who do more than just teaching. And I'm very thankful that our district is strong, and we can weather a lot of stuff. And it shows that we've kind of come out the other side. We're not through all of it, but definitely we have the grit to do the hard work, and it shows in our facilities and in our staff. And I'm just very, very thankful for everyone who makes our district what it is. Thanks very much for doing that.
Good. All right, now superintendent's recommendations, please, George.
Certified personnel, or number 1, certified personnel. Recommendations, 1, salary status change. It's recommended that the board approve a salary status change for the following employee effective with the beginning of the second semester of the 25-26 school year. And that's for Mr. Caraballo from masters to masters plus 18. Number 2 is employment, teaching assignment, amended date. It's recommended the board employ the following for the position indicated effective January 5th, 2026. And that's Mrs. Strebler. And this was an oversight on my part when we approved last month, Ms. Masters changing her retirement date. I overlooked that we needed to move Mrs. Strebler as well. to avoid having a 2-week substitute for the kids, just to maintain that consistency for them. Number 3, supplemental coaching contract 25-26. It's recommended the board grant and or reissue the following supplemental coaching contract for the 25-26 school year. Non-staff contracts are contingent upon receipt of a clear record of the required background checks. And that's Ms. Colgrove, who will be I believe, the first ever girls wrestling coach for Coventry High School. Those are all of the items under personnel certified.
Thanks, George. Is there a motion?
So moved.
I will second. Questions or discussion on those items?
I have just a quick comment. That is awesome that we have a girls wrestling coach. This is really cool, like to be able to have, and we have a handful of girls that are in there. And then, I have friends in some other districts that are also doing it. And I think this is really cool.
Yeah.
Like, thank you for getting them here and for these kids to do this. This is awesome. And also to Mrs. Strebler for becoming back to full-time. These kids are gonna benefit from her. She's amazing. Mr. Carabao, good job. Good job getting the next level up in his masters. That's amazing.
Just to piggyback on that, of course, my granddaughter is wrestling. And it's amazing to see, and she is 8. And she's in the little wrestlers in Stowe. She lives in Talmadge, and she goes over to Stowe. I was in Perry last night, and they've got little kids running all over the place, and they're all wrestling, and about half of the kids are girls. So it's not, it's a nice sport anymore. I mean, it's a 50-50 down in that area, and they're coming up. And Coventry's ready. And that, again, one of those pluses Coventry has.
Much credit to Coventry youth wrestling organizations that are encouraging the girls to get in at a young age and learn their skills for middle school and high school. So definitely thanks to them for all the work they do for both the boys and the girls. It's a great, huge organization with a lot of involvement by the community. So thanks to them.
Good stuff.
Lisa, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Bowser,
Yes.
Mrs. Bath,
Yes.
Mrs. McGraw,
Yes.
Mr. Schubert.
Yes.
Yes.
Under personnel classified, we have one item. It's a recommendation. Number 1, a stipend. It's recommended the board approve the following CMS school crossing guard stipend. And I'm very thankful to Ms. Thomas for being willing to do that. It's a very difficult position at times to fill. So I'm very appreciative of the willingness to step up and do that for us.
All right, thanks, George. Is there a motion for that item?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, Lisa, could you call the roll?
Mr. Bowser,
Yes.
Bath,
Yes.
Mrs. McGraw,
Yes.
Mr. Schubert,
Yes.
and Mr. Hostetler.
Yes.
Number 3, other business items. A, recommendations. Number 1, school calendar. It's recommended the board adopt a school calendar for the 26-27 school year per exhibit S1. And there were no changes requested or really any suggestions from community staff, any of the groups. So there are no changes. It's the same version that you received last month. Number 2 is revised policies and procedures. It's recommended the board complete the second reading of the revised and or deleted policies and procedures for approval per exhibit S2. And I'll share it's a big list, but it's because the state passed a number of education related bills in the spring and over the summer. So this gets us caught up to make sure that our policies are in line with all the new laws that were passed. Number 3 is accept donations. It's recommended that the board accept the following donations, and that's $400 from the Coventry AARP. And number 4 is an agreement with Gardner. It's recommended the board approve the agreement with Gardner for CHS chiller repairs to be completed during fiscal year 26 for a cost of $99,998. And that's the agreement that I shared with you and discussed last month. We're asking to get that done early so that there's no issues with time getting the parts in. And those are all the items under other business.
All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll second. Any questions, comments?
If I may ask, please, on the readings for the policies. I was comparing them a little bit to the policies that are posted as publicly available. And I noticed that there were, on the markup versions, some of the black text, so I assume black is a keeping, red is crossed out to be deleted, green is new or alternate text. But the black text, some of the black text did not line up with the documents that are posted on the net, on the internet. So I guess my question would be, as we're making our final marks, are we going back and using the documents that are deemed to be the last revised? Or are we, maybe, did we accidentally grab a set that is different dated? Just a comment, but I've been proceeding with the readings of the documents as they've been presented in the exhibits.
So what you're saying is on board docs, the presented procedures, policies.
That the public could see.
Yeah, and then the second reading policies, the original text has some
There might
variances.
be some minor black text variances, as if it's like Rev A versus Rev A1 was used. Okay. And it was minor inconsequential text. It was just something different, that's all.
That sometimes happens in the cycle if at the time, the superintendent at the time chose not to update that policy. Maybe it wasn't substantial enough. But we try to prevent that from happening. We try to keep them all updated as OSBA suggests we update them. But that would be my guess is what happened.
And OSBA updates them for us, right?
They do.
Yeah,
They
so
they
they're-
give us the
Okay.
recommendation.
So they're doing it through the legal counsel,
Okay.
not just us doing them, correct?
Oh, I'm sorry. About that. Yeah, I'm not an attorney. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some of these have multiple, like, the board approved it in like 1998, and then 2001, and then 2005, and then 2019, and then like some of them had multiples. I could see there could be some variations on it, but
Again, nothing earth shattering or stopping of work. It was just an observation.
Yeah, good.
That's good.
Yeah, thanks for catching that.
So just to
Let us know.
and to clarify, the version you have that you're approving will be the version that OSBA will upload to that site.
Yes. It's understood. Thank you, sir.
I just want to say thank you to Coventry AARP for the donation. That's great. I should like to talk about the chiller, but I'm not sure what questions to ask. Do they have an idea of when they will get the work done?
So we're very nervous about that because as you know, this building never sleeps. So it looks like it's going to be early June. So that's going to drastically affect a lot of the camps. Mr. Bogus is going to work with the coaches. You figure we're talking volleyball, both basketball teams. They're typically in the gyms that time of year. And there will be no air conditioning in the building because we have to drain the entire system out for the last time. Part of this renovation will be putting isolation valves in so that we do not have to drain the entire system, all 3 floors of the system to fix one item. So that will be an improvement through this project. It's just disheartening that 8 years in, the chiller, these components didn't last and there's no warranty for them.
what's the warranty on the new chiller then?
One of the parts, I believe, has a 5-year, but it's typically 1 year parts and labor.
Wow.
Any other questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bowser,
Yes.
Mrs. Pat,
Yes,
McGraw,
Yes,
Mr. Coolidge,
Yes.
and Mr. Hostetler.
Yes. And next up, we have treasurer's recommendations.
Under the treasurer's recommendations this evening, there's just one item. And it is recommended that the board approve the 26-27 alternative tax budget according to Ohio Revised Code 5705.30 for Exhibit 2-1. Furthermore, the board hereby authorizes the treasurer to make any necessary modifications or adjustments to this document as may be required or requested by Summit County Budget Commission to ensure compliance with statutory requirements without further formal action by this board. That includes Sorry, that concludes item 1.
Understand, is there a motion?
Go move. I'll second.
So. Really, what we're granting you is just the ability to change this based on the feedback you received from the county, right? Because they typically come back with some adjustments and tweak what they want to see.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're independently adjusting things after this, it's based on their recommendations.
Correct.
Okay.
Especially this year with all the changes and the um, how things are gonna shake out for all public schools. I think it's extra important to have a little bit of flexibility. Now, it is due by January 15th to them. So there's not a lot of time to make adjustments, but even today, talking with them, it's small things. For example, what I have for you, if I may, so
Please,
so you have your official copy, and then you have another copy, when it's earlier, that kind of outlines details and numbers. So if you want to go ahead and flip to the second page, which at the top, the division of tax levy. Okay, this page breaks down for you all the current taxes, property taxes that are being collected for the school district. So the first line there says general, current expenses, an I for inside millage, and there's a rate of 5.60. And then it tells you how much that collects or earns for the district, the amount of revenue that we receive. These numbers have been pretty consistent for Coventry schools for many years. With the last reappraisal and property taxes, we did see some increases because prior to the current House bills that just have been enacted, things like inside millage would, you would recognize some growth. However, those things are being capped, so the district won't see growth any longer from certain areas. How this will ultimately impact our forecast and our finances, it's still something I'm working on. I think at the best case scenario, it'll flatline for us between now and the end of the forecast. That's probably the best scenario, with the worst scenario being significant, obviously significant decrease in property tax revenue. But we'll have to see how it all shakes out. What I have prepared for you here is just kind of a highlight of the major House bills that are going to impact the property taxes for us. And this, one of the most significant one is House Bill 129. And this one involves 20 mil floor calculation and how that's determined. Coventry has been on the 20 mil floor, which is the bottom of effective millage, okay? Outside of the 20 mils, we have our 2 emergency levies that are in addition to that 20 mil floor, like they're not part of that calculation. With the House Bill 129, now the 2 emergency levies, which are about 9 mils, are going to be added to the 20. So that's going to take us off our 20 mil floor. All right. Which means why that is so important is if there's any growth in regards to someone's house being reappraised and assessed at a higher value, we will not see growth in revenue from it. Even though they might have to pay more, the district will not get it. And that's because of House Bill 920, which has been around since the 70s, I think, which kind of was the last time something this dramatic and drastic happened in our state. They implemented House Bill 920 to help reduce the cost of property taxes and how much was, and making sure that when people vote them in, that amount stays relatively the same. That schools don't see this big, huge increase, or they're not paying more and more based on reappraisals for every 3 to 6 years or what have you. But being on the floor, the reason why that's a positive thing for school districts is because House Bill 920 doesn't come into play because you're at the bottom. Therefore, they're not going to take any more away from you. And then if there is growth, you recognize that, district will receive that. But now by adding our two levies, two fixed sum levies to that floor, again, it takes us from 20 to 29. We're off the floor, therefore 920 comes into play and will keep our effective millage rates below what is actually planned. It's very complicated. But that's about as straightforward as I can maybe explain it at this point in time. In addition to all the property tax changes that are happening, we also need to keep in mind that state funding for student education has also changed. Legislators have opted not to increase the base cost inputs for student costs. Okay, meaning that when they determine how much does it cost to educate a student today, they're not using current numbers. And if we take it into consideration any inflation over the last few years, those numbers that they're using to determine the cost are still based on the 21-22 calendar years or school year. So we're dealing with these rises and the increases in all these costs and things like salaries and utilities and all that stuff. However, the funding is not keeping up with that. And so that's going to greatly impact school districts across, as you guys are well aware, seen it all over the news. That's going to greatly impact how schools are funded. In Coventry, we are in a unique situation, as we always have, right? On paper, we are considered high wealth. So when it comes to state funding, state aid, they look at our property values and say, okay, Coventry, your community this year, your community can pay 82% of what it costs to educate a single student in Coventry. 82%, your taxpayers have to make up that 82%. We are going to give you 18% for the state. Next year, that 18% is declining. So it's all there's a lot going on, to say the least. The one good thing for us at this time is that we are on the guarantee, the funding guarantee, which means that our district should not, on guarantee, receive less money from the state than we did in 2021. So although if we were not on the guarantee, we would really be in serious trouble. However, since we are, they're offsetting that kind of lost revenue for us at this time. An example of that would be this, and these are general numbers, estimates, okay, conversation's sake. So in Coventry, it costs about $8,000. They have determined it costs $8,000 to educate a student on average every time. So that's our base cost. However, they have only provided us $1,400 for the state, expecting, again, our taxpayers to make up the difference. Because we're on the guarantee though, and because of supplemental revenues such as grants or additional aid for economically disadvantaged, that nature, we actually receive about $4,000 from the state versus just $14,000. Again, because we're on the guarantee. It's still considerably less than what we really should be receiving, given the dynamics of our community and so forth and our population. However, you know, that this is our situation. It's been a tough situation for this district for a long time. We have done very, very well managing it. But we have also not had to deal with all these levels of changes in revenue and how ultimately that So that's kind of what the first page is out of this 8-page document. The next item, just for your reference, and I won't go through every single page, but the next one is a very interesting bit of details. And it outlines for you what I've shared with you here is kind of the breakdown between fiscal years, what we did actually receive in fiscal year 25, what we're projected to receive by the end of this year in 26, then how that's going to look moving forward. So the purpose of this entire report is to communicate with the County Budget Commission where we stand, what are our needs, what does it look like? Are we bringing in enough to stay positive year after year for our cash end, as well as where we are within a given year? So yes, our bottom line is important. Obviously, we want to have a nice, hopefully reasonable carryover. However, to maintain that, it is essential that we look within every single fiscal year. And are we spending less than what we brought in as far as revenue for that given year? So this is a tool that communicates where we are with Summit County. The data and the information is based on a number of available resources, such as our forecast, the certificate of estimated resources that was last approved, as well as the anticipated tax amounts and rates that were provided to the district last year, how that impacts this year. And then, of course, we're also looking at down the road, where did this? It was an interesting approach this year because the numbers on our forecast are not updated based on all the current legislative changes. So normally I would just use those. Instead, like I had mentioned, I flatlined our revenue for the next 2 fiscal years instead of the slight increase that we were anticipating. So that's one of the changes there. And then at the very bottom, something else new this year that's included in this report is a reserve balance account for budget stabilization. We, as a board, you approved a couple of years ago, a 30-day cash balance policy. We have been making sure we have maintained that's the guidance within that policy. But now that amount is being basically set aside or at least reported to the county so they know, what we believe is a reasonable amount to have in that process. So there's not an actual account. It is part of our total budget, but that is something that if we got close to, we would have to initiate some type of initial reduction plan, or it's basically being on the verge of going into, again, the fiscal watch and caution that status. So that kind of helps us guide when we really need to be concerned or not, determine that. And then just moving forward, then the next document's actually getting a little bit clearer. The next page outlines for you where we stand as far as our bond, what we still owe as far as the overall total principal. It's actually captured on the last page of this report, but this information breaks down what we pay over the course of a year. Okay, so it's based on our debt schedule and it's specifically for the bond. So then this helps the county know what to set the millage rate at, the effective rate at, to collect this amount so we can pay this. Okay, so that is the bond. And of course, we have our permanent improvement, which is a continuing fund. and it is at 1.1 mils. So it is something that is also established. And then the next page, hopefully the numbers will look a little familiar. And it brings some of this all together for you, is the statement of fund activity. So these are all the funds that we manage beyond general fund, beyond the bond, and beyond the PI. These are specific funds related to all kinds of different activities throughout the district. As you know, on a regular basis, we review the official certificate of estimated resources. It's a process where we can report our current standing, spending levels, as far as what, those levels against our appropriated amounts, which you approve as a board and the county approves. Or ask for additional information, we have to make adjustments on our end, or not spend in a certain area based on their input, so on and so forth. So it's an ongoing process. We use the official certificate of estimated resources basically to establish our allocations for the individual funds. And that's how we monitor our progress throughout. So I just took a snapshot of what that looks like and put it on that page because those numbers should match. Then the next thing is our unvoted general obligation debt. So this is where we report the COPS debt, the OASBO pool loan, and last but not least, the Santander bus purchase agreement. So I did a little snapshot there, just kind of make everybody happy that last year's debt details, you can see there's two of them for this year's report. And in addition, this is the last year that we have a payment for Santander. So that will also be the
Amazing.
debt schedule. And then again, the last page is just more specific details regarding the. Any questions? No, it's all time.
When you mentioned that next year, I'm sorry, this year, 82% of the cost of educating a child is expected to come from the community, and 18% is expected to come from the state. That's what your budget's for. Next year, you said 18% is going to change.
Yes.
Is it going to change simply because the cost of educating a child is going up and it will still actually be 18%? Or is it a set amount? Like $1,000, I think you actually said 14, so let's say 14, so 14 this year, is it gonna be 14 next year, but it'll actually be less than 18% because the cost of a child went up from 8 to 8.5 or something like that. Is that the reason?
Great question. No, actually, it's because, let's say the 8,000 is gonna stay the same, they're just gonna lower the percentage by the state because they believe our community is growing.
So that is specific to our community. They're not lowering every community by like
Everybody.
1%. or-
It's on your makeup of your
So
community.
it is dependent on what they consider the wealth of the community.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, so every district will be impacted different.
When they review the wealth of the community, do they also look at the business capabilities of the community or the industrial capabilities of the community, or is that a different consideration?
It's a great question. If it is involved, it's minimal. What is more of a factor is the income. So that is involved in determining. But on paper, just because of some of our property values, of our lakes, so forth, they're so much higher than all our neighbors even that we are considered.
Yeah, and when you say income levels, you mean like income from tax revenues, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not looking at like people's personal income, they're basing this off of the real estate tax basis,
The potential taxes.
the potential taxes, right?
No, your people's medium income or your community's income level, salaries,
Okay,
yes.
How about that?
That part is not high, that is not high. I'm
Okay.
saying our property taxes are so high
Yes,
that there's not a big impact by the income level. factor. And as far as the $8,000, that's part of the base cost, like those inputs have not been updated. Therefore, that $8,000 has been the same every single year. Even though truly the cost to educate a kid in Coventry is probably more like 14,000, but they're not updated. So we have to offset that factor too.
Because they're not adding cost of living
Correct.
increases that every other business in the world sees.
Yes. Yes. So it's it's a tough situation and you know, for those districts who are not on the guarantee, we're seeing the result of that across the area. And I will just share the reason why we're on the guarantee. Now, Coventry has been on some form of guarantee for a very long time. And it is again, as the way of the community makeup. When they went from the old formula for funding student education to the Fair School Funding Plan, Coventry actually, if they went number by number, Coventry, for Manchester, for Springfield, so on and so forth, we were gonna be negatively impacted by those changes. Therefore, they established the guarantee, as it currently is, where even though we might not benefit from this fair school funding formula, we will not be negatively impacted to the point where we're gonna be losing so much money that we couldn't even continue schools. So they said, we will keep you at least this level. And then the plan was that every 2 years, that level would be updated. So that we could maintain, or at least keep pace with some of the increased costs. I also just wanted to mention that next month, February, will be the month that we approve the 5-year forecast. Again, that's one of the changes this year with all of the legislative changes. It is an insane thing, in my opinion, to have the 5-year forecast roll out. You don't have as many months of actual expenditures and revenues as we did in the past. But, you know, we're certainly gonna do what we can and put in all the work that needs to be put into based on changes and what have you, as well as we know that.
We just did it in October, right? I was just poking through the old meeting
Yes.
minutes. It was October.
Yeah,
Eight.
we just did it in October.
Yeah.
Yeah, second one is now February. Next year, the first one will be in August.
Okay. So we're just
A year
kind
and
of
a half.
in between their change, like the October was kind of normal.
And I'm like,
And now we have a compressed time frame between the two. Okay. All right. Thanks for all that information. Anybody have any other questions or do you have anything else to add, Lisa?
So if your income remains the same, but property that you're living on increases, it's not like you have more money, you have more value, and that's what they're gonna tax you.
Hmm.
Is that where they're getting their money? Their idea,
Well,
anyway?
the goal, remember, is to decrease property taxes from,
Yeah, right.
right?
But here, that's not happening.
But for us, it'll have a negative result.
Yeah.
Not just us, but all schools,
Property values
All schools.
all schools. It's not just
are
us.
going up, yeah. Property values are going up, but our incomes are remaining, we'll say the same. We're not changing my property. Oh. Say such as like, say that.
Okay.
Taxes.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Is there a motion? Do we already have a motion for that?
Yes,
Thompson.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Hearing nothing else, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Bowser,
Yes.
Mrs. Cap,
Yes,
McGraw,
Yes,
Wood,
Yes.
and Mrs. Hoffstetter.
Yes. Okay, there are no Board of Education recommendations this evening. Don't believe we have any need for executive session at this point, so. If there's nothing else for the good of the order, is there a motion to adjourn?
so moved.
Check.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
I-
Any opposed? Thank you, Jared.